guys, and welcome to Simply Dark Season 2, Episode 2. Very quick before we get started, I would just like to say that the uploading schedule of my channel changed. I am not uploading my videos on Sunday mornings anymore. I will from today be uploading my videos on Thursdays afternoons. There isn't a big motive behind it, it's just that you guys know I have a full-time job, I have 2 boys to take care at home, and right now uploading on Thursday fits my home schedule a lot more, and that's why I'm making this change. I hope you guys don't mind. Now, today's episode is going to be a true crime case. And this is a case that I've been following for a really long time, and that I feel it's very close to my heart. Not because I know the family or I live near or anything like that, just because I am a mother of 2 boys and I cannot even begin to understand what this family went through. And my heart and soul is with them, and I cannot even describe how sorry I am that such a horrible thing happened to these parents. So, on Friday, October 2nd, 1998, in New Freedom, Pennsylvania, 15-year-old boy Zach Witman stayed home from school because he was feeling sick. He spent most of the day upstairs resting, but before that he decided to leave the house keys inside the front door lock. So his brother, 13-year-old Gregory Witman, could let himself inside the house after school. At around 15:06, Gregory gets off the school bus and walks towards his house. At 15:09, Gregory's best friend or girlfriend, I'm not sure what kind of relationship they had, I know they were very close, she calls the Witmans' residence. And apparently this was very normal because they used to call each other every single day after school. So someone picks up the phone but hangs up straight away without even saying a word. Eryn knew the Witmans' family home very well. She was very familiar with it, and she was certain that the phone call was picked up from the downstairs phone. So basically they had 2 phones in the house. They had one upstairs, one downstairs, and she knew it was the downstairs one because apparently it made a very distinct noise when people hung up the call. But she didn't thought too much about this at the time. She just decided to wait a few minutes and then call back. So at 15:15, Eryn calls the home again. This time Zach answers the phone and tells her that it does not believe that Gregory is back from school yet. Eryn believes that this time the call was taken from the phone upstairs because, like I said before, apparently they make different noises when hanging up. Soon after this call, Zach supposedly hears a strange noise downstairs. So he decides to go down to investigate. That was when he found his brother on the floor, dead, stabbed 104 times in his neck and upper body. His body was almost decapitated. At 15:17, Zach calls 911.
Listen to me. Is he breathing?
No.
He's not breathing?
No.
All right, stay on the phone with me a minute.
What? I gotta call my mom.
Okay, you need to stay on the phone with me for now, okay?
I gotta call my mom.
No, you need to stay on the phone with me.
Okay. Come on.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Zach.
Your name is Zach? Your
Yeah.
last name?
Whitman.
Witman.
Yeah. I gotta call my mom. She's at work.
What's your phone number there, Zach?
7929-235-79. I hear them.
Okay, they're on their way. I'm going to go ahead and hang up with you.
Okay.
You're sure there's nobody else around?
I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone. I didn't look. I don't want to look. I don't want to look.
Listen to me a minute. Okay, you say you were upstairs and you heard a bang and that's it.
Not a bang. It's
Not
like,
a bang, you heard a loud noise.
Just like suffering almost, like rustling around. Yeah, and then I come downstairs and the door's cracked. He's just lying there. Just lying there.
At 15:25, ambulance arrives to the house, followed by the police. The ambulance and police staff reported to finding Zach still in a big shock and with his blue sweatshirt and hands covered in blood. Zach is then taken into the hospital and is questioned by the police, despite his constant pleas to call his mom. And just like that, at around 15:45, police begins an homicide investigation. During the investigation, police found some gloves and a very small penknife buried in the backyard of the house, which they believe was the murder weapon. And then a week later, Zach is charged with his brother's murder, and in May 2003 is found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. During his trial, the prosecution argued that in 7 minutes, Zach was capable of stabbing his own brother 104 times, carried his body from the entrance hall till the laundering room, where the body was found, walked through the house into the garden, buried the knife and the gloves, came back, took the phone call from Gregory's best friend, and then called 911. Bear in mind, all these in 7 minutes. Now, from what I can take from the police report, and I will leave links to all the sources in the description box below, there is no apparent motive or evidence to suggest that Zach killed his little brother. Zach's socks showed a very light amount of blood, a small amount of dirt, but no grass stains at all, despite prosecution arguing he ran in his socks all the way to the garden to bury the knife and gloves and then came back. Blood traces were also found in the front of the family room, but they didn't find any traces of blood at the porch of the house or along the path that Zach supposedly took. The blue sweatshirt Zach was wearing at the time, although bloodied, was not consistent with the wounds that Gregory sustained. And despite the brutal and bloody crime scene, Zach's fingerprints and DNA were not found on the gloves, knife, body, or even in the crime scene. So I ask myself, what is going on? How was he convicted if there is no concrete proof of what happened? And this case haunted me for a really long time, and I know that this case is controversial. There's a lot of people against him, a lot of people in favor of him. I have to say that I don't know why, maybe I'm naive, but I believe in him. I don't think he committed the crime. I don't. Maybe it's a mother heart talking. I don't think he did it. And I went over and over and over, and I watched loads of documentaries, and I watched the news, and I don't know, I read the police reports, and I don't know, something just tell me he didn't do it. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. I guess we will never know for sure. But one thing I know is that police didn't do a great job in this case, and a lot of things were actually left out. So personally, I don't think this trial was fair and as accurate as should have been. Now, it's important to notice that one of the police officers there heard a door slam during his search, but did not investigate the noise. So this could be someone leaving the house and they don't even know, because it was never investigated. The basement of the house was never searched. So apparently they searched the full house, they forgot the basement, or they thought the basement wasn't that big of a deal. I don't even know what crossed their minds. The crime scene was improperly secured. Police let civilians into the house, so while all this was going on, we had people coming in and going all the time, and there weren't any logs of the people that came in and went out, so we have no idea who's been there. And one thing that leaves me incredulous and that I cannot believe is no samples were taken from the crime scene when they were searching the house. You know, small things like looking for hairs and something that could tell you that someone that wasn't supposed to be there was there. And another thing is that Zach wasn't very lucky during his trial either, as his defense attorney, Cristina Gutierrez, which was later on disbarred due to negligence, did not contest the evidence or bring in experts to contest the prosecution theory. No motive or explanation of how Zach murdered his brother in 7 minutes was given by the prosecution, and nothing was done by the defense. And another thing that was left out and seems insane to a lot of experts is that apparently the penknife presented as the murder weapon would not be able to go through such a vicious attack without obvious damage. And when you look at the knife, there is no damage to the knife or any apparent damage to it. Now, Zach maintained his innocence for 15 years and appealed multiple times with no success. But Zach's conviction was actually thrown out after a retroactive ruling that mandatory life sentences are unconstitutional for juvenile offenders came out. So in the beginning of 2018, something crazy happened and Zach came forward and confessed to killing his little brother and immediately agreed to a plea bargain, which I have to say I was not expecting this at all. I never in a million years thought that he would confess to this crime, because I always thought he was innocent. And I was so confused when this happened. Was I wrong all this time? But then I started thinking, maybe he confessed so he could get out of jail. Because he knew if he didn't confess, he would spend the rest of his life in jail. And if he confessed to the crime, he would be out on parole the following year. And I know this sounds weird, but a lot of people do this, and I don't understand it either. I don't understand how can they let someone out when they say they did it, and the ones that keep saying, no, I did not do it, I swear I did not do it for years, don't have the opportunity to go out. Like, for me that doesn't make sense. But then in other hand, it does make sense, because just because they say they didn't do it, it doesn't mean they didn't. And sometimes they show no remorse for what they did, and when that happens, obviously they don't deserve to be out. But anyway, Zach was released on parole in May 2019 and is currently living in a new home with his parents. The parents said that they couldn't be more thrilled to have their son back, and the only thing that they ask people is to please to leave them alone and let them live a normal life with their only son. Now, what do you guys think? Do you believe he really did it? Or do you believe that he only pleaded guilty so he could get out of jail? I'm very interested to know what you guys think, so please leave me comments in the description box below. I will check them out and reply to you for sure. If you made this far, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give me a like and share this video if you enjoyed it. Big hugs to you all, and I will see you in the next episode.